I better see you in the ring over there, JJ Holder of the SideQuest, because we're recording the SideQuest live. But JJ is going to be a wrestler. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to the SideQuest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games, video game culture, and everything in between and adjacent to and sidequested out of that
parallel,
stuff.
perpendicular, all of that,
interstellared out of that area. Interstellar's gone back into theaters.
Yeah.
Now I'll go check it out again. I'll see it again.
I probably will.
You probably will or won't.
I won't. There's more movies to see than
now there's a bunch again. Right now. Yeah, I gotta see Cuckoo. I want to see that. I still want to see Twisters. Even though like both those are basically on streaming already.
Yeah, you can like buy them on like Apple and like Voodoo.
I ain't gonna buy shit. I want to see it in the theater the way that God intended. And then obviously tonight is Alien is out, so I want to see that this weekend. And it's a good time. There's like movies coming out every week now that I want to check out. So yeah,
Craven is coming out in just a couple of months.
That looks horrible. That trailer looks like it looks like what Mobius looked like at the very beginning.
Like, you know what's funny is like, then I see like the trailer for Penguin, and I'm like, yeah. That seems good, actually. It's like there's a way to make a villain movie, but like Sony can't.
Craven
it's because Craven's one of the absolute best Spider-Man villains. He wasn't around for a super long time in the comics, but like when the classic Craven has some of the best Spider-Man stories. Craven's Last Hunt is like my top 5.
Oh god, yeah, that is so good. It's so good.
It really is. I have the entire original run of it. So.
That's cool. That is awesome. Yeah, I'm officially. I took today and tomorrow off, and I'm going into I have my comics all organized in the basement, and I'm going to be throwing a bunch of them up onto Marketplace and eBay and seeing what I can get rid of. I may hold on to the first appearances of Carnage, because I know that'll get popping again once the next Venom movie comes out. Is that later this year?
Yeah, or next year? No, I think it's still
October.
Fall. Yeah, I think it's yeah.
And Craven is that September or October?
I think December.
December. Oh wow, yeah. Oh man, a lot of the Spider-Man adjacent stuff.
There's not a lot of superhero movies this year, so they're trying to fill in some gaps.
There was one really good one, and everything else. So yeah, I'll take it. Deadpool. It is wild to have an MCU year with only one superhero movie, but it's good. They needed that break to get us all kind of jazzed up, because we actually are like now everyone's looking forward to Captain America more. Thunderbolts, that the trailer that you shared, there's the trailer that you shared if you go into the Discord, and there's definitely some stuff. We're finally excited again about the MCU with a lot of the craziness. Maybe I'm glad you brought up movies, because our first news bite is about a movie. And it's about a movie that even the trailer looked like garbage. And we knew it was not going to be a good movie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Borderlands movie had potentially one of the worst weekends of all time in movie history. I mean, how could you go wrong with this cast? The domestic take for the Borderlands movie was 8.8 million. International is like 16 million.
Yeah, let's just ignore for a minute that like Borderlands was always made it best.
You're right.
Especially when it turned in terms of like a story to tell, but like they never cash in on these things. Like, I don't know what it is about video games in particular, but they are never able to cash in on their peak. Like the the FNAF movie, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, came out like last year, like years after its peak. Like this movie, like years after its peak. The Assassin's Creed movie came out like during like
sure.
He's like they never come out like
nope.
on like when the things are at their like, and the couple of times that they did like even the Mario Brothers original movie, the live action one, like that was 93.
Yeah,
Mario's the
was waning at that.
Yeah, Mario's popularity was waning at the time. Like it was still a big thing, but like it wasn't Super Mario Brothers 3 era. It wasn't the Wizard era. But yeah, I just don't get the Minecraft movie is not out yet. It's like we don't even we barely have like production shots of it.
That's next year, right?
It's next year, yeah.
There's a lot of freaking stuff showing up movie-wise over the next few years. Like we know there's a new Mario Brothers movie. That's 2026.
Yeah,
and
so they've really like come out and said it, but like they like said it like investment meetings and stuff.
No, Shigeru Miyamoto came out and remember he said, here's the date for the Mario Brothers sequel. It's 2026, April, whatever. They shot their shot. But the Zelda movie, that's probably that's probably a lot for that's probably 2027. If Mario's 2026.
The thing about the Zelda movie is that it's live action, which sometimes can push up those dates a little faster.
It's true,
especially with the way CG and green screening and stuff works these days. You can live action movies tend to it can go be a couple of years from announcement to release, but when it comes to like animation, it's always going to be years. It's always
going to be years, which is wild to me because then what you can't possibly have Mario and Zelda in the same year movie wise, right? I mean, maybe you can. I don't know.
I mean, like, who's to say you can't? Like, it's Nintendo. True. Nintendo doesn't care. They're these unstoppable franchises where if they're gonna do big, they're gonna do big. If
Mario's in April, Zelda could be in like November or October or something.
Yeah, and they're gonna be too diametric because like the Zelda movies gonna be like live action and the Zelda and Mario movies animation.
So curious what that's gonna be like.
And it's from the guy that does the director is the guy that did the most recent
Kingdom of the Apes, which is great.
So,
I'm
interested.
Sorry, going back
no,
to.
I was just going
back to Borderlands. Yeah, it's just you haven't seen it, have you?
No, I didn't. I don't like Borderlands to begin with. I'm not going to go. Like I will see it, but like. I had the opportunity. I went to a movie this weekend, and it was like, well, what movie opening this weekend should I see? Borderlands or Cuckoo? Like
Cuckoo is not even playing. It was only playing for like one weekend by me, and that was
it's a neon movie. You're lucky if you get it in your normal theaters for a week. So.
But
I want to segue this into something else. So when you're done with this, I'm going to have to bring up another news article, but
no problem. Well, let me just talk about. We'll talk about this one. I loved the. The movie was delayed from initial release, right? I think Borderlands was, and it just went through development hell and production hell, I should say. And Randy Pitchford was always excited about it, but seemed like nobody else was. And it never felt like a movie that had to be made at all. To the point where and it was great because my godsons, we hung out with them last weekend and they were telling me they went to go see the Borderlands movie. I'm like, why? But they went last Thursday to see the Borderlands movie, and they go, wow. Now, these are like kids are like 13 and 10 or 13 and 11, and they flat out said, this movie was bad. I mean, kids, right? Preteens. They like everything because it's an experience to go to the movies. Both these kids were like, no, this movie is really bad. They're like, it was mid at best. Actually, no, it wasn't even mid. It was just bad.
Like, I don't like just Hollywood being Hollywood just can piss. Like, just have Claptrap be voiced by the guy that does Claptrap.
Yeah.
Like, Jack Black did nothing to add to this movie. Like, half of what makes Jack Black an entertaining guy is that he's a great body actor too. So like to just get rid of the appearance of Jack Black on your screen and just having his voice does not, like, this isn't a Tenacious D movie. This is
I mean, it worked with, surprisingly worked with the Mario Brothers movie, because Koopa Bowser is so much like Jack Black.
Yeah.
But let me tell you the daily for August 14th, which was yesterday.
That's
number one movie, it ends with, I'm looking at Box Office Mojo. Number one movie is It Ends With Us. Number two, Deadpool and Wolverine. Twisters, Despicable Me, Trap, Inside Out. Way down at number 7.
Inside Out, and it's like
Inside
seventh
Out
week.
Yeah. 62 days in theaters, and still has 2,200 theaters showing it. Borderlands is number 7 at just around $500,000. $500,000 bucks, which is, that's a lot for a day for them.
What? You made a movie that the fan base was going to hate, and that normies had no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So, congrats,
man. Right above Harold and the Purple Crayon, which is another movie that's just
no spoilers.
No spoilers. Hey, guess what? Long Legs was number 10. That's been out for 34 days, a little over a month. So hell yeah,
movie of the year. I don't care.
Long Legs is just so stupidly great. But it is kind of funny seeing the stuff that's still out, that's still making money. Speaking of which, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is still making money, like about $7,000. So good.
But if we want to talk about things that's like in terms of like a good idea, like that, like it was the story that broke that Amazon had apparently ordered. This is the segue, by the way. Has ordered from Tim Miller, Love, Death, and Robots. A video game anthology animated series for Amazon, like that. And what was it? They listed things like New World and because that's an Amazon thing, anyways. But and Spelunky and just little short animated video game shorts. Yeah, that's a great idea. You don't have to worry about cashing in on it because you're not really putting a lot into. I mean, you're just putting a 15-minute animated short out there, a few times, like once a week, a new one, and you don't have to commit to any one particular franchise, just who's ever on board to let you adapt it.
We were, you were saying how it was similar to like what gaming has been done.
Cartoons used to be that back in the day, where everything was just sort of
Here's on Deadline, by the way,
because you go back in the day and you'd see like a lot of shows were just like, oh, the first half was this, and then the second half, Garfield and Friends, and then also that zoo, that barnyard cartoon that they shoved onto. That was the and Friends part. Then back in the day, it was like, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, and Q*bert all got their like little.
Listen, hold on. Saturday Supercade was Donkey Kong Jr., Q*bert, Frogger, Pitfall. So there were, that was a
Rubik's and the Amazing Cube.
Rubik's Amazing Cube. Space Ace even kind of showed up a little bit.
Even when you think about something like Super Mario Super Show was live action cartoons, and it would also like Captain N had like everything, like, and you get the Legend of Zelda cartoon kind of mixed in with that stuff. That was just how cartoons kind of were back in the day. Cartoons also used to be very, very, very short because they had to shove ads in there. I think if you go back, the entire first season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like 45 minutes. But that's a good idea. I mean, let's go. I'll be interested to see if and when this happens. Like,
I think, you mentioned a couple of them that were, Spelunky and Amazon Games New World, which is whatever. But some PlayStation titles, which again, Amazon is working on the God of War movie or God of War show.
Here's the thing. When they say other PlayStation titles, I really hope that means we get short little like
Astrobot
cartoons and like Sly Cooper.
Yes.
Or like Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank, those kinds of like just, you don't need big long things like that. Just a fun little Sly Cooper short of him like Lupin the Third style doing a crime and being charismatic about it.
These 15-minute, 12 to 15-minute episodes are the perfect length because you're literally there for two reasons. One is because you love the IP and you want to see it animated, and two, you want to see what the visuals are like. And I mean, that was Love, Death, and Robots for me, was seeing the creators and seeing what they're, what they could come up with when given any, complete free reign to do whatever they want for like 12 to 15 minutes. And it was awesome. I mean, there was some fantastic stuff in, was it 2 seasons or 3 seasons of it? And I highly recommend watching that over on Netflix. It's so good. But yeah, this is good. The rumors will be announced during opening night live, which, Mr. Keeley is having fun with PlayStation right now. I mean, that's where they announced, was it Astrobot they announced there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Horizon Lego thing.
Well, no, that was announced at Sony's event.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said he was just having fun with Sony. I thought that.
Oh, yeah, but exactly. Lego. I know Astrobot was at the Summer Game Fest. I don't think Lego Horizon was, but
he showed. I thought there was a secondary trailer that showed more gameplay at his thing, but maybe that was just
because that was after. Oh yeah, you're right. Yep. Never mind. But maybe there was. But yeah, good stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to this. Speaking of good stuff, we finally have some good news. Believe it or not, we have some good news, folks. And that is Tango Gameworks has survived.
I didn't know that was something that could happen.
Right, this is on Nintendo Life, but we saw the notes popping up from the press release. Basically, Krafton, who PUBG, Callisto Protocol, that kind of stuff, they own those. They decided to buy Tango from Microsoft. I didn't know the Tango was for sale. Otherwise, I would have bought them. I have like $30 in my bank account.
We could have pulled this. We could have pulled our funds together.
Yeah. It says they're allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP, explore future projects. To me, this is great. So part of me wonders, does the Hi-Fi Rush IP now get transferred full? Well, it sounds like it will, but does the current game get transferred over to Krafton?
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work. I'm curious to see if like all of
it's going to be like Mass Effect.
The logos will change. Yeah.
Where the original Mass Effect was like tied to Microsoft for so long. Right. And then this.
Then Mass Effect 2 came out. So I'm curious how that'll work, but it's great news, man. It is. Yeah. It's awesome news. Hi-Fi Rush, Evil with. I could see.
I think I read something. Maybe it was Totila that said it or something, that the Krafton people were saying like they were going to be absorbing some of the members of Tango into other parts of Krafton, where they'll probably be better suited. I'm guessing.
Sure.
Sure. It's nice to know that, like, not only did your job get saved, but you're kind of probably in a way getting maybe even a promotion out of the deal, depending on where you're.
Agreed. So I'm curious because what did Tango already? I thought they had already like shut their office down, but maybe.
But we don't know. These business deals are so weird. Like,
right.
The contracts may still have been active, but like the office being shut down, it could have definitely happened.
Did some people already leave and to go look for other places? Are they still there? I don't know. So I'm sure. It sounds like there still are some people there working on stuff. Obviously, they needed to get the last bit of
because they had that skeleton crew that was working on stuff with them. So,
and then there were other people working on other games and projects too. So. I'm going to be curious where everything lands, but I think this is great news. The Hi-Fi Rush on Switch, as they're kind of pointing out here, that was, you saw the Switch stuff sort of pop on.
Yeah.
There.
I think we're going to get closer to the point where let's just start barreling towards a sequel and just have that be the multi-platform thing.
However, I can see this come out on the Switch, but I can see it come out on the Switch, but maybe not anytime soon because developers have been told reportedly not to expect Switch 2 to launch before April 2025, which is the beginning of Nintendo's next financial year. This is obviously this is a business move by Nintendo. I mean, this is something that we were kind of leaning towards. Maybe they'll launch it in February or March of the year, but
it tends to be their date. So
So
like April, that date being April-ish, isn't that like okay? Still.
So it's after their year, and I think the reason that they pushed it out is because they know that this year is going to be a challenging one from monetarily, and there's a whole chess game. There's like a balancing act that you go into because shareholders know if you release the Switch 2 at the end of the season, they know at the end of their financial year, they know stuff's gonna go up, but it's gonna go up, and it's still gonna be a disappointment for the year. There's no way this year, even if you release the Switch 2 in February or March, it's still gonna be a disappointment for the year. So
and stock prices always tank at hardware launch.
Yes,
because it costs a lot of money to launch
Yep.
a piece of hardware in terms of just getting it out there, advertising, and all that
Exactly.
stuff. So those numbers take a huge shitola during
it's better for them to launch it. Now, they were in such dire straits with the Wii U back then that they had to find something to launch. But they're able to now push this into April or May, which is a lot of people are thinking or hoping. Like I've been alluding a little bit to this, just talking to some developers here and there, but there have been games completed, like games are done for this Switch 2 or near completion, ready to go. And we had heard initially it was going to be out this past March, and then September timeframe, then the holiday season, then next year, beginning of the year, and now they keep kind of pushing it off, which would mean that the developers who had the kits had stuff pretty ready to go at some standpoint. So there's gonna be a pretty big backlog of stuff that is gonna drop on the Switch 2, is my expectation. You're not gonna have a Switch 1 situation where it was Zelda and then Snipper Clips, and those were your two launch titles.
Switch
and then
1, 2, and
and Switch 1, 2. Those are your three launch titles, and then 3 weeks later it was Mario, and it kind of went from the Mario Kart, and then it went from there. No, it really seems like you're going to have a boatload of projects.
You're going to have a lot of PlayStation 4 games to play next year.
Which, again, for Nintendo folks, it'll be great. Again, the rumors were that one of the reasons was Nintendo wants to make sure that there are enough consoles to go around. They don't want to get into a situation where people are fighting over consoles, and there's not enough, and there's the prices are getting jacked up, because we saw that with the PlayStation, and with PlayStation and Xbox. And while it helped PlayStation because it became really popular really quickly, did not help Xbox. And Xbox is in kind of dire straits for a lot of different reasons right now. No games. But Nintendo, it seemed, the rumors were that they were building up stock so that when it releases, you're going to be able to walk into a store to some extent and get one. But I'm excited for the announcement of this thing. Who knows?
Does Nintendo raise the price of Nintendo Switch Online? They haven't yet.
They haven't, but they have. Because they
added a new tier, but it's like
I feel like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if Nintendo's ever raised the price of anything like that. Have they? I can't.
They've never had anything like Nintendo Switch Online before.
They've never had anything like that.
Because Pokemon Bank kind of stayed the same price forever, but it was a very simple. It was an app. It wasn't like it was like a service in a traditional
The closest
sense.
thing I can think of is them releasing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at $69.99 instead of $59.99. And because they came out and said,
yeah,
listen, this is what you're going to pay for these bigger games, for these kinds of games. I can see them having the starting price for their bigger games in for the Switch 2 is going to be $69.99. I think that's maybe where they're having their push, but
I'm hoping one day EA
or another tier on top of the.
Yeah, I'm hoping just one day that EA finally does start like fucking releasing their games regularly on the Switch. Like, like college football, man. That's just put it on the Switch.
So, like I mentioned in the past, but Nintendo wanted Madden so badly on the Switch.
Nicolas Cage.
They wanted Nicolas Cage. They wanted Madden so badly they were willing to fund it. This is what I was told by people in the development community. They were willing to fund it, and EA said no for whatever reason. They didn't think it was going to.
It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't have benefited EA in any way, shape, or form.
It wouldn't have benefited them necessarily, right? Exactly. But I mean, FIFA still, even the Legacy Edition, still managed to sell on the Switch.
It's so funny. It's like they keep putting these FIFAs out that are the exact same game with a roster update.
Yeah.
And that's not a joke. That's what it is.
It's all it was. And it even says so on the box.
Yeah, at full price, and they sell really, really, really well. So
to the point where the Switch versions, the Legacy Editions, outsold the PS4 and the PS5 versions in Japan.
And like the 2K, it's so funny. 2K does a pretty good job at getting stuff on.
Yeah.
Like they may not be perfect. The NBA 2K games are perfectly cromulent.
They work, man. They work. And so, MLB The Show works.
MLB The Show, like it's ugly as sin, but it
works. It's got everything.
The only time the one time they fucked up hard was the WWE game that they did, whichever one, I think 18 that had Seth Rollins on the cover. Yeah. Like that game was broken,
and
never
came back,
and they never did another one. They did WWE Battlegrounds, and then
and it's sad because I think WWE games on Switch would do really well, man. Because you look at who the market is right now and how especially what's happened to wrestling over the last 2-3 years, and how much it really the last year, and how big wrestling has gotten to the point where WWE is now adding days onto SummerSlam and maybe Survivor Series and AEW.
SummerSlam was 12 hours this year.
Yeah, and AEW is pushing. They got Dallas. And they got these giant arenas that they're. So it's wrestling's hot, and 2K really should. I'm guessing though that'll be what we probably see on the next Switch. And the next Switch is going to get a lot of. Jedi Survivor. They announced the release date for that. For PS4 and Xbox One in September, which again, that was our first Switch 2 game, because why would you put those games out unless you have the tech ready to go for a console that's ready for those. So, there's a lot to expect it. I'm guessing April myself. I'm guessing right towards the beginning of April, and that'll be their beginning to mid-April, let's say.
I was thinking late April, early May.
Okay, yeah, that could happen too. Because they're gonna push out. They have Metroid Prime 4. That'll be beginning of next year. It'll be Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
That's probably your. Let's see, they have Donkey Kong Country in January. So I'm guessing. Yeah, Metroid Prime is gonna be their March game.
Yeah.
More than likely, and then that'll be sort of the bookend of the Switch. And
it'll be crazy to end the Switch on Metroid Prime 4,
right?
Too, which is so cool.
It is totally wild. But then at the same time, Switch 2 is. I'm sure they'll have a version of Metroid Prime 4 that is
$10 more.
That's your cross-gen game. Is Metroid? Yeah. Maybe that is your cross-gen game, because. They're gonna do it with Metroid
enhanced
Prime 4.
lighting.
Yeah, enhanced lighting and slightly, that's the one with multiplayer. But anyways, don't expect it before April, which sounds about right. Everyone was thinking March-ish. April is probably April or May that time frame is probably.
Oh, there you go. You release Metroid Prime 4 on Switch 2 with a remastered version of Metroid Prime Hunters.
Yes. Sounds good. There you go. There you go. There you go. Only on the Switch 2 version, the Switcher version. Let's talk about some games that we're playing, shall we?
Everything that I've been playing has been boring.
Yeah, it's been boring on your embargo. Okay. Well,
I mean, we could talk about.
Well, you could, if you want to talk about that game, go ahead and talk about that game, because I have one game that we could talk about. That
I got Tomba. Okay. I got Tomba for a review copy. I'm playing it. I'm not done with it.
Okay. You'll get to there though. Yeah. Next episode. And we do have some review codes coming in and stuff. So I've gotta start plugging in these review codes and getting going on some of these things here. Now that my evenings are starting to finally loosen up. Yay. My evenings are starting to come back. But there is one game that I decided, let me rephrase that. There are a few games that I decided to play. Because things have been so busy for me, I really could only play games in short spans. So I couldn't sit and play, like, I've still not finished the Paper Mario, and I want to get back to it. But it's not the kind of game, it's generous with save locations, but it's not the kind of game where you can, it's Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, where you can play for 10, 15 minutes and put it down. You can't, because once you're into it, the minute it's an RPG of the era, the minute you go away and you come back, you forget where you are. So I have been playing a lot of online multiplayer, smaller-ish type games. F-Zero 99. I'm thoroughly amazed at how many updates they have made and continue making to that game. It is so freaking fun. It is, to me, I mean, you can even play single player by yourself and stuff right now. It's like the definitive F-Zero game. I hate to say it, but it's so freaking fun. There just isn't a play with 7 other buddies mode yet.
It's too bad it's the last F-Zero that will ever be.
Too bad it's the last, but it's a blast. I've been really enjoying it. Nintendo did a good job with these 99 games. Bring back Mario 35. I freaking love that.
Fuck Nintendo.
Like the easiest one. Bring back Mario 35. It's a win.
Yeah, you pretty much half brought it back.
We should be at Mario 40, right?
Yeah.
You half brought it back.
They half brought it back in the fucking World Championships collection.
So that's the other game. That's the game they want to talk about, is a Nintendo World Championship. We haven't had a chance to really talk about this. I finally have been pouring time into it. It is a great game to just pick up for literally 5 seconds and move on, because it is all short little spurts of fun. And when you get bored, you can just literally, I'm done. I've played 2 little challenges. That's it. That's all I need to do. Right.
It is very funny to get into it and realize how many times you've played certain games compared to others, because it's you get to Mario and Mario 3, and it's just none of it's much of a challenge. You just kind of you're almost playing through the levels through your soul. But then I get to something like Ice Climber or Kid Icarus, and I'm just I don't know how this game works actually. I guess.
Oh, it's fun. And some of the areas are, was it the Mario Brothers? The final challenge in Mario is you have to essentially beat the game. You have to get through from the start to beat Koopa in World 8, and you have to follow the correct warps, because if you don't, you're screwed up. In under 10 minutes to get the the special A+ ranking or A ranking.
S. Yeah.
Not even S, because I got it at 10 minutes and 18 seconds, and it was a B++. I'm like, shit. So it's the A ranking, but I dig this game for what it is, which is honing my skills to replay these original games. Because once I played the Zelda 2, there's challenges where you're facing off against certain bosses.
Yeah.
I went back in and started playing Zelda 2 again, because I'm like, okay, I really got a good feel for how to play these games. That being said, $30 is a lot for this thing. This should have been part of Switch Online because it really feels like a Nintendo Switch Online type of thing.
I don't know how much of the online mode you've played on it.
I have, yeah, where you go through like the 5 or 6 challenges.
Yeah, but the better you do, the more difficult the challenges get with other people. But but it's like it's very much in the same vein of their Mario 35 and and the F-Zero and Tetris 99 and stuff, where it's just like your screen is filled with other players, watching them slowly like fall off. It's very satisfying to go through this mode right here.
Survival mode.
I really like this mode.
Survival mode is fantastic.
This is my favorite part of the game.
Yeah, it really is. So I played the online, which is this kind of championship. The regular championship stuff, which is your weekly 5 or 6 challenges. But yeah, the survival mode is really fun because it is Nintendo. Again, we talk about it. I just mentioned it because they've been adding into the Switch Online stuff. They have a survival mode thing in every freaking game now. They made that Kirby game, which is Fall Guys with Kirby, but they've included in this. They've included it in the new Mario Party game is going to have an online survival mode.
The Battle Royale Mario Party.
Battle Royale Mario Party. So they're all in on this because it really does kind of harken back to the days of pass the controller and playing at buddies' houses and who can do it in the least amount of time.
And not a lot of resources need to go into doing stuff like this.
No.
With the rules.
No. You can have 8 screens of people playing Mario Brothers 3 at one time, and it's nothing. It doesn't.
Yeah, you could be running fucking Breath of the Wild in the background still, and I wish. I hope Splatoon 4 has some sort of battle royale mode.
Yeah,
Splatter Royale or some shit.
So I will say that I do want to bring up that we are very excited about the Splatoon, the Grand Festival, which is essentially the last big Splatfest.
Yeah.
They'll probably have some more afterwards. They haven't mentioned they would, but that's coming up in September, which basically means, okay, Splatoon 4 is in the works. And they usually take the final Splatfest of each Splatoon, the final major Splatfest, and turn it into an omen. Like the winner will be like the omen of what's happening the next time. So Splatoon 4, we'll see what goes out, but that would be a blast to have sort of a battle royale Splatoon.
Oh my god, I just saw the ad for it and I completely forgot about Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Yeah, man. Oh, I can't wait.
Wait for that.
It's gonna be fun. There's a lot of good games coming out a lot of good games coming out this fall. And here I am looking at this and like, I gotta finish Paper Mario, and then I gotta finish Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and then I can get to another freaking RPG. Thankfully, the Mario and Luigi stuff, they're never very long, and neither is Paper Mario. Generally, isn't very long, but I have Origami King sitting there where I hardly touch it.
Origami King sucks.
I don't know. I played it a little bit and I thought I played it for like 2-3 hours and I thought it was okay, but I'm in the
that was Paper 6 years ago.
Yeah. 4 years ago, 2020, surprisingly. It's and we got a Zelda game coming out this year. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
forget about that too. But I enjoy this for what it is. You get to do those challenges and it's done, it's over with, and you can start, purchasing the little banners and things like that and insignias. Apart from the online thing, like I ripped through the majority of these challenges in like 2 sittings, and that was like 20 minutes each sitting. And it's like, all right, wow, I'm done with this. Like I even enjoyed the Zelda one where you have to go through the entire first level as fast as possible, which the first dungeon as fast as possible, which again, thought that was very cool. So I enjoy that I enjoy what this game is in terms of how it's drawing me back to play those original games in full again, because now I feel like I'm actually better at playing those. It's like a weird training tool in a way, but it's gonna be weird saying this. I'm not finding anything really fun about this outside of that survival mode. And I haven't really been able to play with friends here because my daughter doesn't care about any of these old games. And maybe a few of my buddies, I'm going to try to get a drunken night together for my buddies here and see if anybody wants to give it a shot. But it's that survival mode or bust for me. And that's basically it. Because you do get people of all different play levels playing the survival mode. So that's really the only thing that makes me kind of draws me in. But it's a, dare I say it,
your brain has to really, really, really be in tune with watching the timer get smaller. Like you have to be a type of person that was willing to play like the same level on like Trials HD over and over again, just to make sure you were the top of the leaderboard of that. Like if your brain works, if your brain works that way, like I said, like Trials and Astrobot and stuff, like this game can check that box. If your brain's not that way, you're not gonna feel anything. Like I did, right. Trials HD, when that was all, everyone was playing that on the 360 back in the day. Like all my brain could think of was like, how did I need to tilt my bike differently to shave it off, and I get that with this, especially for the games that I'm super most comfortable with. Like when I'm sitting there and I'm playing the like Mario 3 stuff, and I'm like, I know I can be faster. I don't know. I clearly do not understand Excite Bike at all. I thought I was okay with Excite Bike, but when they're having you do these challenges in Excite Bike, you realize like, oh, I really don't understand the physics and the control of Excite Bike
the way,
in any meaningful way.
Excite Bike 99, like that could actually be something kind of stupidly fun. But no, I completely agree, because there was the physics in these games. I don't understand. I'm the same way. Do not understand Excite Bike, because I have driven that course perfectly, and I'm still at like A+. I'm like, no. How do I get to S? Like, there's no possible way that I can get any faster.
No way how to shave any more time off of anything I do on Excite Bike, and I am earnestly trying, and it's not for lack of effort.
Completely agree. Completely. I sat there over and over again. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? I can't. Not even like 1/100th of a second comes off.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, it is the same freaking number over and over again. I'm like, I got, to 7.06 seconds again for the 5th time in a row. But one thing I have learned is, like in Mario games, especially, or in Zelda games on here, go ahead, let yourself get hit. Because
using the iframes is one of the most important things in some of these things. Yeah.
So I like this horse battle. That was actually pretty fun.
Iconic.
Yeah, but no, it's I do like these little players, the classified information stuff from like the old Nintendo Power, which is pretty cool. But I've screen captured those and kept them on my Switch's gallery, because they're just so neat to look at. But yeah, it has satiated me to no degree. Like it's very satisfying, because it's almost mindless to play these challenges. They're not like, I don't know where they came up with some of these. It's like walk up and get the sword, and like more than half of your time in Zelda in doing that challenge is just waiting for Link to go through the door, which is like, you're like, okay, I've lost like 3 seconds, just the doorway animation.
Well, because
that's the majority of the time. That's not really a challenge.
Yeah, but also like, it's wild too, because like you can go and watch actual speedrunners do this stuff, trying to take advantage of what was built, like how you shave those seconds off, and if they're compatible with these games too. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't, which is kind of fascinating that Nintendo would be able to do that. But
it is neat that it saves your fastest trial.
Yeah, it is nice that you can compete against yourself.
Yes.
Very Trackmania. Yeah, you're constantly playing against your ghost.
So there, they're making us all better Nintendo NES players.
Nintendo athletes.
Nintendo athletes. But I don't know how. Again, yeah, outside of the survival mode, I'm like, okay, that's it. I ended up getting it physically and digitally. Physically, the physical version, because it's just so cool looking. But I'm not going to open it.
Oh yes, no, it just looks so cool. But I'm just
will not.
Dirty flipper out there.
It is, yeah, exactly. But no, listen.
I tore that shit open. The cartridge is on prominent display.
Nice.
The pins are. I'm making a shadow box with the postcards.
Ooh, very cool, very cool. But no, it's.
And I'm probably still going to get the Japanese version.
Yeah,
it comes with the controllers.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I would tear open, because I want those freaking Famicom controllers. When I say open enough money, no, it got me back into playing some of these other games. So I did hop back onto, the Switch Online proper, and started playing some of these classics just because I was in the mode. I was in the mood, I should say, and the mode.
I do like that. So. When you create your profile, it asks you what your favorite NES game is.
Yes.
And it gives you a list of literally every NES game that was officially released on the system.
To the point where some of them, you're like, they made a game of this property. Like, they made a game of this? Yeah.
And if
Dictionaries in there, and it's
nice. It's just like, WCW, Paint the Dinosaur. That's my favorite.
Paint the Dinosaur, yeah. How many versions of classic Concentration and Tiny Toon Adventures?
Wheel of Fortune, 1991.
Wheel of Fortune, 1991. Maniac Mansion, was that one in there? Or King's Quest? One of those was in there. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, it's great from a history. Totally great from a history standpoint. So yeah, roll for initiative on that one, Nintendo. Good job. NES Remix is still better. I'm still upset they haven't pushed those games out. I think it's the same developer, right? Between this and NES Remix.
Nintendo is never like super open about who's developing anything. So
I think they did. Some journalist was actually doing their job, scouted out who it was, and then realized, it was that initial NES Remix developer, I believe. But I want to play NES Remix again, because those were challenges. Those were just crazy, silly challenges, and they were set up the same way.
Yeah. Except they would fuck with the ROM.
Yes, that's what I love about it, right?
Yeah, that's what was cool about it. It would do weird shit to Mario Brothers.
You have to beat this level of Super Mario Brothers, or you have to get the mushroom. But hey, this time you're invisible. That kind of stuff was great. It was just really cool. Link, you can only beat this level, or you can only beat this boss, but you no longer have access to your sword. You just have bombs and boomerangs or something stupid like that. So that was a lot of fun. I can almost, I don't want to say, NES World Championships or World Champion Nintendo, whatever, NES Edition.
Here's what
NES Remix Edition.
Here's what I say. Yeah, I say Nintendo World Championship because it says NES Edition.
Yeah.
NES Remix Edition.
Yes, I think
as opposed to SNES that people think or whatever. It's got to be NES Remix.
Because there really weren't there's not those types of memorable challenges and moments. I love the NES. It's my favorite console of all time. But there's not similar style of retro moments that people hold, make connections to, like they do with the NES. But I will say, man, Atari should do something like this. An Atari version of this type of thing could be really kind of fun, where you're just playing little snippets of Atari games. Because Atari games really were only 20 minutes, 10 minutes long anyways. So you can grab the first level of any game and do that. But it's a neat idea. I just wish there was more depth to it besides what there is. But I'm probably gonna, as soon as this podcast is over here shortly, I'm gonna go play some more survival mode. But that's what I was playing. Like I said, I wanted to kind of chat, since you and I hadn't had a chance yet to talk about it. Figured we could both chime in.
Yeah.
But hey, guess what? In
Chicken butt.
2 weeks time from today, you're gonna be at PAX.
I'm gonna be at PAX.
Oh man, which reminds me, I gotta get that award. The award.
I don't know.
Man.
I keep getting emails and there's some interesting things. I actually finally, I know Nintendo has a booth there, and I finally got an email saying one thing that's going to be at the Nintendo booth.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's not a Nintendo game.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, all right, nice.
Well, and I can say it. It's not like it was embargoed or anything, but it was just something stupid. It was like season 2 of Star Wars Outlaws is going.
Oh yeah, they talked about it today. Yeah,
I was like,
about it.
Okay. Okay, I guess that's what the Nintendo booth is going to be this year. Just stuff that's on the Switch. To be fair, I don't know if you played Star Wars Outlaws, but that game
I played a little bit. Yeah,
that's a pretty good.
It's fine.
It's a pretty good version of that game. Like,
yes.
It's just Overwatch in Star Wars. It's a Star Wars reality show.
Yeah.
It's funny because you don't think of
premise
TV
behind it.
You don't think of TV very often in Star Wars. They don't really delve too deeply into hobbies within Star Wars. Like, you get glimpses of like pod racing and it's clearly being videotaped, but you never see anybody really watching TV. You never see a lot of people playing any sort of real sports. You get glimpses of them. So it's weird to actually have like, this is a Star Wars TV show in universe. Like, it's like, all right, cool. Of course it would be Running Man.
Exactly. I might play a little bit more of that. I have it downloaded. I did dive into it a little bit because, for whatever reason, I want to give it a shot. I think Nintendo was offering like 100 platinum points if you play it or something silly like that. So
it's free.
It's
free and it's Star Wars. I mean,
the one thing Disney has done fairly well is all the free games that you can download, like all the free to play stuff that you can download. They have the kart racing game.
Yeah, Speedstorm. They got
Speedstorm. Yeah, they have
Valley.
Which is only it's free on PC, I think. But and then they have the Star Wars thing. Then they have a bunch of other stuff. And have you? Did we talk about Bounty Hunter the last time?
Yes, we did talk.
We did.
Bounty.
Okay, all right. I'll say more Star Wars stuff. But you can get a lot of fun Disney stuff for basically free.
Yeah, Disney's doing a good job at just sort of.
That reminds me,
spreading the licenses out.
Yeah.
Boy, that reminds me. You're lucky I didn't think about it sooner, or else this episode would have been another hour and a half of me just talking about D23.
Goodness. Darn. No, I was gonna say I forgot. There's a new that Mickey Mouse game, the platformer, the Metroidvania like party platformer they had last year.
Oh yeah, the new murder DLC that they got in it.
Yeah, I gotta check it out. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. I should. It's free DLC.
Yeah.
So
it's a fun game. It's not great. It's a fine game or whatever. The illusion, that's sort of
Illusion Island. That's right.
Yeah, the Castle of Illusion spiritual successor.
Yes.
Watch those Mickey Mouse. Watch the cartoon.
They're so good.
That game is based off of the most modern Mickey Mouse shorts.
Yes.
Johnny had just recently discovered them, and they are phenomenal. And I don't just say that as a Disney guy.
Even me. Like they're great.
Yeah.
They have makes kids laugh, but it's very adult understanding of storytelling is what they're doing. Yeah. Like you watch any cartoon from like late 90s and before, and it's incoherent babble. It's like, no, the majority of them.
It does what Disney used to do, where it was like, no, we're making movies like their old cartoons used to be like, no. It's for everyone. No. Like kids can enjoy it, but adults have to enjoy it too.
Exactly. You're being forced to.
Yeah.
All right. Let me let you go. On this wonderful Thursday evening, I'm gonna go play some games that I actually have the ability to. With that said, you can find JJ and myself over on the SideQuesting Discord, sidequesting.com. There's a big button down there. SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. SideQuesting everywhere else. You can find us individually. Just hop in the Discord. That's where we like to have the most fun.
We've been talking for the last 45 minutes about anime in the media.
Yeah, quite literally. Yeah, there's been a good conversation there about Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah.
Tokyo Godfathers. With that said, see you all at PAX. We love you.
Well, see me.
Well, see you at PAX there.
Yeah. To see me at PAX.
Bye, man.